Some 30 years ago, a man named Peter Pretorius was a wealthy South African businessman. He loved gambling and Grand Prix racing. Then one day, he witnessed a miracle, and his life has never been the same.
Peter Pretorius is the founder and president of Jesus Alive Ministries, an organization that spreads the gospel in Africa and around the world. Through citywide crusades and ministry in rural areas, over 11 million people have made decisions for Jesus. Peter also heads up Joint Aid Management International, a ministry that provides food and necessities for more than 1 million people per day. Today, he will share stories from his 30-plus years in ministry and how God can do the miraculous in everyone's life.
Well, please welcome to the 700 Club my dear friend, Peter Pretorius. Peter, it's so good to see you again. Thank you for being here.
It's so great to be and lovely to see you, Pat.
What's happening in Africa? Is the Lord really touching the dark continent? You're seeing miracles. Tell us about it.
You know, I don't even think we can anymore call it the dark continent.
Yeah.
So many millions of people have got saved and turned to Jesus and so on. And yes, the continent has problems, but the spiritual content of the continent is amazing.
Well, when you go out and you hold these crusades, you just use a platform, you got a loudspeaker system, and there are hundreds of thousands of people gather. What are they expecting? What do they want?
They're expecting miracles.
Yeah.
That's why they come. I mean, they easily come to their salvation. You know, when I was in Mbujimai in the Congo, we had over 400,000 people in the meeting.
Good.
And on the last night, we had 164,000 decisions in the one day.
That's a big diamond area, Mbujimai.
Yeah,
yeah.
It is.
I've been there. But I haven't been having 140,000 people. Well, what do you tell them? What's the message?
The message is Jesus and Him crucified.
Yeah?
You know, and just really preaching the grace of God, the power of God, the message of the cross, and then, you know, giving chance for salvation, and then also praying for miracles.
Is this going to transform the political life? Now, you were in South Africa. You saw the ANC take power, and suddenly a charismatic man become president. The apartheid was finished. What did it do to you, and what did it do to South Africa?
It set us free.
It did set you free.
It absolutely did. And I mean, Madiba Mandela was really an incredible statesman. He turned us into a nation, you know. And
he was so forgiving. That book he wrote was so full of grace and forgiveness, and you just think the man was so abused by the white people.
Well, I certainly believe that he had a relationship with Jesus. You can't forgive like that.
Yes.
Without it.
But it set your
really
country
wonderful, wonderful man. But it set our country free. And, you know, it also opened up Africa for us. Because prior to that, it was very difficult for us to reach Africa. But it's opened up Africa for us.
Well, who is unreached anymore? I have been all over the Congo and all over those areas, but and Angola and so forth. Well, are there areas that are still unreached with the gospel?
Many, many areas.
Really?
I mean, we did some research 9 years ago. We spent 2 years doing research. We found that 57% of people still live in rural villages, and that outside of 20 kilometers from the city, almost nothing's being done with the gospel. Really? So, you know, yes, these people have heard about the Bible, they've heard about Christianity, but they've never had the powerful gospel preached to them. It is absolutely incredible. When we now go into these villages, we get the whole village coming.
Yeah.
Even villages from around come to the meetings. And I mean, sometimes the amount of people that have given their life to Jesus are greater than what the population of the village is. So just remarkable things we've seen happening.
In Nigeria, they're having a clash with Muslims. Are you encountered any of that problem?
No, because I really believe that the gospel is for everybody.
Okay.
You know, and I'm happy to preach it to everybody.
Yeah.
I think everybody who doesn't have Jesus Christ is in the same boat.
Okay. Doesn't matter what the label is. Huh?
No, it doesn't. They need Jesus, and it will transform their lives.
Well, you've found poverty, and you're helping with malnutrition. You're feeding, what is it, 1 million people a month or something?
We feed 1 million children every day.
1 million every day?
Every day. And every school day. And we're doing that in 5 countries in Africa. Our program in Southern Sudan has become huge.
Where do you get the money? That's a lot of expense.
You know, we have offices in 5 different overseas countries. We also have government grants. We work a lot with World Food Program. So, you know, we get financing from everywhere. But when it comes to the gospel, it's the church that needs to finance the gospel.
Yeah, of course.
And, you know, we're in 4 countries right now, Pat, in doing rural crusades. But we need to get into every sub-Saharan country in Africa. We need to get teams into every country, you know, and I need really for the church to just rise up and say, you know what, we can bring Jesus to the rural areas of Africa.
Sure. Well, you're working in Southern Sudan, the new country up there.
Yeah. I have a huge team up there. We have over 200 people full-time in Southern Sudan.
Well, are they still having persecution from the Janjaweed and the other Muslim?
No. The problems that are there at present are internal.
Really?
They're really political. And they've gone from political to tribal, really. So, you know, the dissension came between the president and the vice president.
Oh, I didn't know.
And, you know, some of the army split and went with the vice president.
In Southern Sudan?
In Southern Sudan.
Well, they're supposed to be a Christian nation.
So, yeah. So the fighting really has been internal and has been more political. So, but also they come from 2 different tribes. So I think that's also created more tension.
But you've had great crusades among them, though, huh?
Yeah, and we bring, wherever we take the gospel, we're conscious of people's needs. You know, if someone asks me, what is ministry all about? It's helping people. And firstly, we help them by getting the message of Jesus. But secondly, we help them by getting food. To me, there's no distinction between the 2. Sure. And when you look at the heart of Jesus, there really isn't a distinction. When I was hungry, you fed me.
Amen.
You know, and when I was naked, you clothed me. So.
Well, Peter, I just thank God for your ministry. And folks, I'm afraid that's all the time we've got. But pray for Peter Pretorius and the work that he's got in Africa. It's very important.